If you've been scrolling through endless listings, watching demo videos, and still feel that knot in your stomach wondering whether you should finally invest in a contractor saw or keep using that old 10-inch jigsaw, you're not alone. The truth is, a big-ticket tool like this can change the way you tackle framing, demolition, or even a weekend woodworking project, but buying the wrong model can leave you with a machine that's either overkill or underpowered, and that's a cost you'll feel every time you flip the switch. Think of this review as the moment where all those maybe it's good enough thoughts get cleared up. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The SAWSTOP Contractor Saw, CNS 175 ATGP 36, sits in a sweet spot that a lot of pros and serious hobbyists hunt for. A 1.75 horsepower motor with a full-size 36-inch glide fence, yet it still carries that infamous safety system that stops the blade the instant it contacts skin. That safety headline can feel like a marketing gimmick until you picture a real workshop scenario. Maybe you're cutting a long piece of 24 for a new wall and the blade catches an unexpected knot, or a curious teenager wanders onto the shop floor. In those moments, a traditional saw would keep the blade spinning, and you'd risk a serious injury. SAWSTOP's brake system is engineered to detect the electrical conductivity of flesh and pull the blade to a stop in about 5 milliseconds. That's not just a feature, it's a real, tangible layer of protection that can turn a potentially life-changing accident into a minor inconvenience. Who should actually consider this machine? If you're a contractor who routinely runs full-length rip cuts, a remodeler who needs reliability day after day, or a woodworker who values precision and safety above a low-price purchase, the SAWSTOP Contractor Saw makes a lot of sense. It's also a solid next step for serious hobbyists who have outgrown a basic table saw but haven't yet moved into a full commercial workshop. The combination of a 36-inch fence and a robust motor means you can rip a 212 board in one pass while maintaining tight tolerance, something you'll notice on a job site where every inch of waste adds up. On the other hand, if your projects are limited to occasional small cuts, a smaller benchtop saw or even a high-quality circular saw with a simple fence might meet your needs without the extra cost and floor space. Let's talk about daily usability. The machine measures just under 70 inches wide, 45 inches deep, and about 35 inches tall, so it fits comfortably in a standard garage or a modest shop. Its footprint isn't massive, but you'll still need to allocate a dedicated spot. There isn't a stand pull-out option that will let you stash it under a workbench. The glide fence is smooth enough that you can push a 36-inch board with minimal friction, which is a relief when you're cutting something large like a sheet of plywood that barely fits in a typical carrier. The fence also has an optional extension table, so you can increase the supported length for those oversized panels. I've seen it handle a 48 sheet without wobble, making it a versatile platform for both framing and sheet goods. Now, the strengths that actually matter once you have the saw in your shop. First, the automatic safety brake is a game changer. In practice, it's a low-frequency maintenance task. After a few stops, the brake cartridge will eventually need replacement, but that's a planned part, not a surprise failure. The real benefit shows up the moment you accidentally press the blade against a hand or a finger stray too close. The blade halts, and you avoid the catastrophic outcome. Second, the 1.75 HP motor provides enough torque to cut through dense hardwood or thick pressure-treated lumber without bogging down. In real-world jobs, you'll notice consistent cutting speed even when the material has knots or embedded metal. Third, the fence's glide design eliminates the little catch you sometimes feel with a typical straight-track fence. I've run side-by-side cuts of a 26 ledger and a 3-inch MDF sheet, and the saw kept the boards square to within a fraction of an inch, which translates to fewer adjustments later on. On the flip side, there are a few practical weaknesses you need to weigh. The first is the cost. SAWSTOP's safety system adds a premium that pushes the price well above a standard contractor saw from other brands. If you're on a tight budget, that could be the deal-breaker, especially when you compare the raw horsepower and fence length to cheaper alternatives that still deliver decent results. Second, the brake system does add a layer of complexity. While the brake engages automatically, you do have a maintenance schedule for the brake cartridge and the sensors. If you're not comfortable swapping those parts, you'll need to factor in service time or a technician's fee. Third, the saw runs on standard 120V power, which means the motor's full potential is limited by household circuits. In a heavy-duty job where you might be running multiple power tools simultaneously, you